Here we go.
We are all live. We are all on the screen. So, starting in the upper left, I'm going to say, Big Bear, say hi. We'll move to Zach. We'll move to Blake, and we'll move to Morgan.
Hey, everybody.
So, how is everybody doing? Everybody survived the weekend?
Right. Rested up.
Ooh.
Got back late last night, but yeah, ready to go.
Brady Bunch. Yeah, it's about as good as the Brady
Bunch.
Bunch.
We got back this morning because my mom told a story.
And I didn't.
My mom's sneaky.
I wasn't aware of this till just a couple minutes ago. Apparently, Blake, you flew to get there.
I did, yes.
So, I think the rest of us all drove.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It would have been a really long drive, and I didn't have the time off for that.
So did
There we go.
I understand that.
The Homestead, how are you?
did anybody come back home to any problems on your homestead?
No,
No.
thankfully, for once.
I was going to say the same thing.
I think this is the first time
We haven't.
ever we haven't had an issue.
Yeah.
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 No, it was actually smooth sailing on our end too. It's
Well, great.
just- everybody's good. Everything's good.
Mama Curbs just reminded me that I came home that night and fixed the broken toilet, so there was that.
Or was
Okay.
it broken before you left?
Yes.
Okay, so really not. Didn't
But I
break while
fixed
you were
it.
gone.
Well, let's let Morgan. Why don't you go ahead and start? Tell your impressions of the conference. What were the highlights
Mr.
for you?
Artist.
Oh, artist. Uh-oh. I'm worried this story's going to come out. Yeah, I thought it was a great conference. I'd actually never been to any sort of homesteading conference of any type, any of the meetups. I'd never been. This was really the first event I ever attended. And it was just so cool because I feel like over the last year-ish or so, I've been, talking with so many people and getting to know folks, whether it's through Facebook groups or in the comments section or in the chat rooms of like your channel guys. And just to like see all these people and meet them face to face, that was probably the coolest thing for me. And just getting to say hi to everybody and hanging out and having fun. And, yeah, drawing some pictures here and there.
What was your biggest takeaway? What did you learn at the conference?
I think the biggest thing I learned at the conference was actually listening to Josh over at Stony Ridge Farm talking a little bit about fencing, because I'm gearing up to probably do a fencing project next year, and there's some good considerations and various ways of going about the fencing that he threw out there that I hadn't even been thinking about. So I think that was probably the best tactical takeaway from the event that I had.
Blake, how about you? What was your biggest takeaway from the conference?
That this community is pretty awesome. I mean, really, the people, I got to meet everyone here on panel, hang out with Morgan, got to meet the Stivers, hang out with Big Bear and Robin for a little bit, and it was just really, really cool seeing the entire community, not the entire community, but a lot of the community there together and loving on each other, having a good time.
Zach?
Yeah, so first off, a lot of people are asking where Jen is. I know it's weird just me being here solo. We went live right before this, if you got it, and we also had family visiting earlier today, so we had a few things that still need to be done with the kids and stuff, so she's taking care of that. But the event, the people, just straight up the people, it was amazing how many people we got to meet, hang out with, talk to, put a face with the name that we see in the comments. That was by far our favorite part. However, from a takeaway from the event, there was one question in particular on the Q&A panel that really got Jen and I thinking, and it was the 200-year question. What's your 200-year plan? What are you thinking? And, it's stuff that we've already talked about a lot and we've thought about, but it really kind of listening to the others bring that in and think about it truly. It really kind of hit us at home, and it's like, what is that plan? Like, what is that concrete plan? So, but overall, it was just the people. It was so nice to meet everyone and hang out and just build that community, that family, and that friendships.
Jason, Robin?
Well, the first thing I want to do is Nunda in the chat. She said she said she just wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming and supporting the community.
From her.
Yeah. Well, we all had a absolute blast. But if it wasn't for Nunda and Amy and that entire team, we wouldn't have been able to have the awesome weekend that we had. And it's a true testament that when like-minded people get together, they can pull off anything. You can do anything. And all of the information that was and knowledge that was coming around and people just getting to talk with different people about different things. It doesn't matter if you've been homesteading 15 minutes or 50 years, you walked away with something new.
Right. The thing is that you had all levels. You had people who hadn't even started yet to people who've been doing it so long they don't call it homesteading, they call it a way of life. It's what they've always done, or they were raised that way. And so it was really cool to have so many different perspectives to be able to bounce ideas off of, and even have people come and ask us stuff and then get to talking to them and they kind of throw something out there that you're like,
that could work.
That might work. I never thought of that.
For example, somebody came up to me and was talking about trapping a specific type of nuisance. See, I have to word this correctly because it may or may not be.
Let's just say theoretically it's in some state that's not your own.
Definitely not in Georgia, Mr. FBI guy that's watching. But I never thought about placing, and it was one of my traps that he purchased, but he set it a different way. And I was like, that's brilliant. That would work. That would work. And it would just make sure you were out there early in the morning. But yeah.
I want to get back here to Morgan for a minute. Morgan recently had one of these unique experiences few of us will ever have on YouTube.
Yes.
Where YouTube kind of promoted him quite a bit. So can you share with us what happened?
Yeah, sure. So last week was like my luckiest week ever. So beyond getting to go to the conference, I also got picked as a creator on the rise from YouTube. So it's where they take your channel and they put it on the trending page and just like stick it there for like 24 hours. And yeah, it was just crazy to get the response that was able to do. So it was a really, really cool experience, just in terms of lots of people watching lots of videos and that sort of thing.
Way to go, Morgan.
Thanks. Guess gonna make me blush.
We're not worthy. Exactly.
The Quacken have arrived.
Yeah, people are loving the Quacken.
The Quack-a-lackin'.
And of course, Zach has grown at just massive amounts very quickly. Jason, you and Robin have been around for a long time, and you have just so much in the way of educational videos. And Blake, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly when you started your channel, but you've been around for quite some time.
I actually, so Daryl, I wanted to do this, and the fact that we have Jason and Blake here at the same time, I want to actually do the tale of the tape, because I feel like between the two of them, they have absolutely been like the YouTube homesteaders the longest, no question. But I feel like they were like neck and neck when they came out.
Yeah, he's actually a little bit, we did the research. He's actually just a little bit older than us with the videos. I think he's like
I mean, his
less than a year. But his channel came out.
His channel came out long before ours, but he started putting homesteading videos out in like
less than a year before us. Like May. Good.
Okay, because I looked it up.
Okay, well, what did you find?
his first homesteading video come out near the middle of 2011, and we started in January of 2011.
2010.
No, 2010.
Well, now I have
Thank
to go-
you, Blake.
I'll have to go
Thank
back and
you.
look.
Thank you. 2010. I think it was like May. Is that about right?
May of 2010.
Yep, May of
Awesome.
2010. So he's just about maybe 6
Robin-
months before.
Robin gets a quail for that.
So what?
Well, Blake is the oldest homesteading channel
That I know
on
of.
YouTube now.
Yeah,
I can
that
no
we
longer
know of.
say that.
So what Jason's thinking of is that 2011 is when we moved to the farm.
Okay. Yeah.
But the video that started my homesteading
Mm-hmm.
adventure in real life and on YouTube was a small aquaponics system in my backyard
In his backyard.
in the suburban neighborhood.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
that one.
So by
launched-
like 6 months ish.
So now he has the title of the oldest homesteading
Yep.
channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have the chance to go back and research that here today. Oh, hold on here. We have somebody else.
Blake, the granddaddy of homesteading. There you go,
Oh.
Brenda. Oh, is that
VW family.
Mr. Ben?
Should be
That's
Mr.
the
There
Ben.
he is.
There's Ben.
There went the neighborhood.
Mr. VW.
Ben, how you doing? Can you hear us?
He's still look at him
There he is.
concentrate. Look at him concentrate.
Hi, Ben.
Are you drawing a picture, Ben?
Can you hear
Do
us?
what?
Here.
Can you even hear us?
I'm trying to get this thing set up for Andrea. I got to step back for just a second.
Okay.
All right, are we coming through just fine?
Oh, you're
Yes.
coming through just fine.
Okay. I'll let Andrea tell you the story. I got to step back for just a minute.
Okay.
There's bobblehead. Beaver burgers.
Uh-oh. Andrea, what happened?
What'd he do?
Blaine got a deer. So they've been
Oh.
tromping through the woods.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
Nice.
Miss Andrea, how are you, sweetheart?
Get over here.
Oh, and there-
Good. How about y'all?
there's that awesome songstress sitting next to you. Do you know
yeah.
we have them on live
I heard
stream on
about
Saturday? Yes. Uh-huh. Yep.
I think, yeah, she posted something on Instagram, didn't you, Emily?
Did you put it on Instagram?
I didn't. I think Sherry might have.
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure did.
Okay, well, we've already asked the other folks, so you get to just kind of wing this. What was your biggest takeaway from the conference this past weekend?
Hands down, the people and just hanging out with the fellow YouTubers, but also the subscribers and commenters that are faithful to watch our videos and keep us going. That was definitely our favorite part, don't you think?
Yes.
And all the kids just kind of formed a big mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Lord of the Flies on the top of the hill by the train. Like, on an ongoing basis, like all weekend. It was just, you know, they were battling for supremacy. There was like, they were playing Red Rover, and like there were a lot of, it got pretty vicious there.
Let's not talk about Red Rover. That's a source.
Oh my
Red
gosh.
Rover got real quick.
Sure did.
It
Poor
always
Dessa.
does.
Ladessa's still complaining about her back hurting.
I'm like, you play, you pay.
All right. So we just had a real brief discussion between Blake and Jason. They are actually between the two of them. They have, I don't know how many years on YouTube, but it's quite a few. And it was determined that Blake has got him by a little bit. Blake's officially, as we know it, the oldest YouTubing channel in the homesteading genre.
Yeah.
So we also mentioned a little bit about Morgan's recent Creator on the Rise, the extreme growth that
That's
that
awesome.
that Zach has been experiencing here. Tell us about VW Family Farm, because for you guys were probably what really made the shindig happen. I mean, I know that Roots and Refuge was the ones that actually kind of promoted it, but you guys were the brawn behind the scene. You're being quiet.
And I can't take any credit. That was Ben that did most all of the shindig prep, and along with Jess and Jeremiah, and we're definitely a team. But as far as what's going on with us, we were talking on the way home. I can't remember. It's all a big blur to the HOA. But last year we were sitting at home and we had like 200 subscribers. And we had not even met Jess and Jeremiah yet, and thinking, man, I just wish we'd been making videos for a while, for most of last year, and just getting nowhere. And we thought, man, we'd love to be at the HOA. And then this year, we just recently hit 10,000, and it just still blows our mind that people came to meet us. That's so crazy and humbling that people care enough to watch our videos and came to meet us. And so it's just super big change from last year to this year, and we're really grateful. It's just kind of, you just kind of sit back and think, wow, I'm really getting to live this dream. It's pretty cool.
It's so funny you say that too, Andrea, because Jen and I was talking about the exact same thing. Jen was talking about how we've been watching like the Homesteaders of America and following that for so many years, and it was like it's not even a single minute of our mind thought that we would go there and then anyone even know who we are. So we couldn't agree more. That was amazing.
And I'll just even echo that just a little bit further. I mean, last year I was, I remember sitting at home watching the live stream that I think somebody put out. I think it was you guys, Daryl, and just being like, gosh, I should have gone. I really should have gone. And this year, I'm just so glad I made the trek down. It's totally worth it.
Jerry, I'm going to let you talk to him for a minute here while I get a couple things arranged here.
They seem to be doing rather well.
Well, you got to keep them going. You got to keep prodding them.
What, you're trying to put the number up so Ahmed can call in?
Oh, no.
Yeah, really.
I think Ahmed's asleep right now.
Yeah, Ahmed is on that different time zone. I think he has a cold tonight.
You never know. Tim Taylor might call in. Or maybe Pikachu.
Be careful, Zach may spit out whatever it was he was just drinking. I am surprised that Smudge still has hair, with as much hair as he left on all the children that came over to visit him.
That puppy was getting a lot of love.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's the thing that surprised me the most about Smudge. I always pictured him being a little bit heftier. He's a big dog, but he's svelte. He's pretty svelte.
Yeah, the doctor said he's not big enough, so I asked the vet if he would like to take him home and feed him.
Because I would hate to see what comes out the other end after you start feeding him more.
I was gonna say, because it's
there
not,
are still
yeah, it's
huge
not
landmines around here.
Yeah, it's not little peanuts, is it, Jason? No.
I'm like, we got a bear, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, Smudge.
Yeah, we had to clean it up
Such
every
a
time.
well-behaved dog.
Him and Apollo do not get along.
No.
And I have to figure out some way to get him to quit barking and lunging at other dogs, and it blows my mind and if anyone has any ideas, please give them to me, because he was raised with 4 other dogs the same size as him. So I don't know if he really just wants to play. Apollo, I think he wanted to bite his nose off. So I don't know.
Apollo deserved to get his nose bitten off, because Apollo was teasing him. He was just letting him stretch out the chain as far as he could go, and then he was like, nah.
It's like he knew.
One of the questions that did come in was from
Smudge
Legacy
by
Home
Jess
and Garden.
Allison.
What was the biggest surprise at the HOA?
Roy Feek.
I was going to say the singer. I knew that was coming up.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm actually surprised people were able to tell the difference between store-bought tomatoes and garden tomatoes. I thought that was going to
really?
go.
Oh my gosh!
Really?
Oh, store-bought are nasty.
Was that you that led that little entourage?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that'll be a video that comes out on Thursday. It'll be a fun one.
Yeah,
Not everybody got it right. I will say.
See, he did that on
Not
he
naming
did that under the pavilion that we were supposed to have our live stream at. Had to get that little plug in.
All I know is I was getting ready to start talking to somebody about Kunkos, and I looked over, and Jess had these big safety goggles on. And I said, I do not know what's going over there, but Robin, go get it on film, because Jess is wearing safety goggles.
Folks, like Legacy Home and Garden, knowing what you now know about homesteading, what, if anything, would you go back and change?
That's a loaded question.
Yes, it sure is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a loaded question. It honestly depends on what you're trying to homestead. Like for us in general, I would have to look back to the house. We love everything we did about the house, but if you're in a pole barn idea situation, we would definitely double stud, more insulation, because pole barns, they heat up like a tin can in the summer and they freeze like an ice cube in the winter. So, you know, that's always going to be my biggest lesson learned, at least for our story.
I think ours, if you'd have to lob it in one thing, and let's see if I get the head nod over here. I think it would be that we should not bite off more than we could chew, because we had a bad habit of jumping with both feet into something before we did any homework.
There's the head nod.
There it is.
That was our biggest thing, was jumping into something without doing the research. And I heard several people over the weekend. It was heartwarming for me to hear it, that people get that we just didn't, because I know we had somebody was talking about pigs, and they're like, but we got to work on our fencing first. We cannot take on pigs until we have fencing. You know, it's just like, but we were the people that were buying the pigs and then figuring out the fencing.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we got a tax return back. Let's go get a cow.
So don't do it. That's the whole reason we started our YouTube channel, was don't do it the way we did it.
That's what we should have named it.
Way.
Don't do it this way, Homestead. That's what we should have called ourselves.
Yeah. I think for me, I would probably invest less in animals and more in gardens.
Amen to that.
And I would actually go to, and I think it was something that Justin Rhodes actually said at the conference in his presentation around, you know, he did the math around, if you have chickens, how many times over the course of 10 years you're going to go out and feed your chickens. And for me, there's like a lot of things that I did with setting up our place where it's sort of inefficient. And if I do the math about how much time I've been working within that system versus setting it up a little bit more efficiently, and think about that efficiency side of things, I think that would be probably the biggest thing I'd do differently. Save time.
Them automatic deer feeders work great.
Not just for deer.
No, not just for deer.
Oh my gosh. Our pigs made a great escape and ate our neighbor's Tesla charging cable. Oh, I can tell you, we've had to replace people's gardens before. I mean, no lie, we've had to go out and replant roses. So I know all about that, but not a Tesla charger by any means.
No. Like when we first got into pigs, we got taken advantage of. Again, we jumping before we knew anything, and we got sold.
Probably somebody's wild feral hogs.
We got sold feral hogs that were piglets. And then when they grew up, boy, they didn't like fences at all. They didn't like pallets. They didn't.
Nope.
What's that?
Uh-oh. Who did we lose?
Ooh, we said $700. Ouch.
Okay, we have a caller here. Last three digits of your phone number are 562. Who's calling, please?
Hey, everybody. This is Don from Little Mountain Life. How you guys doing?
Hey, Don.
Hey,
man.
Don. I was in class with Don.
Yes, you were. It was an awesome class.
It was an awesome class. Learned a lot. You're working on all that footage, right?
Well, I did put out a video with some short clips, but I'll put out I'll put a longer one out probably in a couple weeks.
Cool. I can't wait to see that. It'd be nice to be able to go back to it and look at it.
Yeah, that mangalitsa was beautiful on the inside.
Except it didn't have any skin.
True story. Yeah, I just wanted to call and say hey to everybody, and it was awesome meeting a bunch of you, and you're even cooler in person.
Yeah, man, right back at you. Pleasure.
Yeah, it was great to meet you, Don.
Definitely.
And your whole family, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That's all I got. I got to get back to putting a shower pan in, but I just want to say hi.
Good luck.
All right. Well,
Good luck.
thanks for calling. You have a good evening.
Thank
Somebody
you.
actually
care,
called me cool, and Ben from VW was not around here.
Okay.
Thank you,
don't think
Albany
he was
Mountain
talking about
Homestead.
you.
We appreciate that.
All right, and we have another caller. Last three digits to your phone, 547. Hello?
Hello, John, Mountain Life, Montana here.
Done.
What up?
Excuse me.
See,
How is everybody doing tonight?
The
I
night
got a
he's on
question
here
for
and
everybody.
calls in, I have his T-shirt in the bedroom.
Jason's wearing
Hey,
it.
John.
Yes, I do see
Jason's
that.
wearing my
Yes,
T-shirt.
he
It
is.
is.
But I got a question for all of you guys up there on the Brady Bunch panel thing going on.
You have no idea.
For the 200-year plan, if there was one thing that you hope that comes true for the 200-year plan, what would you want to see become a reality?
I got my answer right away.
Go for it, Morgan.
So I, when the first year that we bought our farm here, I spent a lot of time planting a lot of trees, and chestnuts were one of the trees that I put like about 150 in the ground. And so for my 200-year plan would be that 200 years from now, there's still chestnuts here on the farm.
Nice.
I think for me, and I don't know about you, I think for me, one, that it would still be in our family.
Mm-hmm.
But two, the management practices that we have started are still in effect, so that way we're still healing this land that we got here.
Yeah, because the land that
It's
we
gonna
have
take
is-
200 years to
yeah,
heal this
it's
land.
pretty rough. So
Oh, yeah. A good answer.
So you want me to be completely honest with you? I don't care what happens to this land in 200, my land in 200 years. What I want to do, what my 200-year plan is to build something and create something to where my children, mine and Jen's children, have a choice to either keep it, live it, keep it going, their children, to keep it going or not. However, I want them to have something 100% established, paid off, functional, to where they are in a good spot to make a decision on what they want to do. Obviously, we prefer that they stay right here, expand it, make it bigger, live this life. But I honestly don't care what they do with it, if it's either to sell it or to keep it, because I just want them to be set up to succeed on whatever it is that they decide to do. So if it is to sell, I hope they sell this thing for $1 million and they can do whatever it is they want. Mm-hmm. Or I hope they stay right here and succeed and continue a farm going on. That's ultimately my 200-year plan. It's not technically about the land. It's about setting up my kids and my grandkids to do whatever it is that they choose to do.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think that's wise, You can't plan for your kid's future, and God knows with my daughter, she's not doing what I would wish she would do, but she's doing what she wants, and I think that's important.
Your turn, Blake.
Go ahead.
I was actually a little bit embarrassed to try to answer that because thank you, Mr. Stivers, for sharing your perspective there, because I don't have a big desire for this land in particular to be anything in 200 years. Based on how this area is growing, I don't expect it to be anything natural, but I do want what I've done to make an impression on my family, and hopefully through the online content and people around me, that the things that I've chosen to do and the way I've chosen to live will make an impression in the people that I've touched, so that somehow there'll be some kind of a ripple effect that not my land necessarily, but land all over can be managed and stewarded in such a way that people care about that.
Nice.
Okay, Ben and Andrea, it's your turn.
Well, I don't know. Ours may be a little different, but I can tell you, I remember them talking about the 200-year plan, because what struck me is I thought, we are the 200-year plan. Like we are living it out because Ben's grandpa lived so frugally. We're like the future generations that we wouldn't have what we have if it hadn't been for him. There's no telling where we'd be. We might not even be on a farm. So
I'll be sitting on a yacht somewhere.
no, not a yacht. We might be sitting in a dump somewhere. I don't know, but
VW family sailboat.
But he worked every day of his life to leave it to us. So I just want to leave it better to our kids. And his literally dying wish was, please don't sell my farm. Leave it to my grandkids. So that's our 200-year plan, is to keep this piece of America going for our future generations.
VW Family Farms to say VW Family Farm for 200 years.
Yeah. And there's Miah. You can ask Miah the same question. He just popped
Who's
up.
this guy?
Funny looking dude on the bottom right. Yeah.
Look at there.
Look at him. He's got a stretch.
Are you awake, Miah?
Yeah, I'm here.
Barely.
He probably doesn't know the question. I might have to repeat myself.
I kind of was watching a little bit, but yeah, go ahead and remind me.
All right. This is John from Mountain Life, Montana, and the question is: in your 200-year plan, what is the one thing you hope comes true?
Honestly,
Of course.
No, you said it. You said you didn't even want to come.
Just couldn't answer it anybody.
Help yourself.
I'm so tired. No, I'm kicking it.
Jessica said that to see Jesus be more glorified. I can agree with that. And,
Amen.
To peg that also would be, I hope it happens a lot faster, but honestly, I want to see the food system fixed. Like, not like better, like completely revolutionized, like fixed. Like people healthy and not needing all the crap and doctors and medicines and stuff. Like, that's really what I hope happens in 200 years. And I really believe that this group of people can make it happen.
That's excellent, because that's exactly what I literally was talking to my wife about tonight. And it's funny that you say the exact same thing. So you win, because that's literally my answer, my hope. We're starting ours next year, and my love for the Lord and helping people eat better as a cancer survivor, eating right saved my life. And in 6 months, I got cancer free. And I want people to understand that it is a major thing what you put in your body. You need to pay attention. It can kill you, and it almost killed me. I was stage 3 brain cancer, and by going to fruits and vegetables that were homegrown, in 6 months I got a clean bill of health. And praying to Jesus. So those two things saved my life.
That's awesome.
Praise God.
Okay, well, John, thank you so much for calling in. We got some more waiting here. So.
Yep. All right, guys. Great job the way. Thank you so much for all the video footage. Appreciate it. Love you guys. God bless.
And
Take care, John.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Sherry's trying to find all the possible videos that were created.
Yeah,
and
I
creating a playlist.
There's a playlist actually already out that HOA created just this morning. Yeah, there is.
I posted one. I posted ours on the live stream.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. There's like I was looking at it actually just earlier this evening. I think there's already like about 12 videos there. So if people are looking to
30 plus
catch up on everything, I think you just look for Homesteaders of America 2019 and it'll pop right up. As a playlist.
And we have over 30 in our playlist for it. So we're working on it.
Not saying, but we have.
All right. Caller with the last numbers 850. Hello. Welcome to the live show.
Hello, how are you?
Just fine. And who's calling, please?
This is Nanda with HOA.
Nanda.
How are y'all?
Doing well.
How are you?
Great. Thank you for an awesome event.
You want to say an
I
order?
want to call and thank everyone for attending. We appreciate all your support. We hope you enjoyed yourself.
Very much so. You guys are
thank you.
I know on our end.
I think everybody had an absolute wonderful time, and Nanda, you did a
Oh yeah.
wonderful job.
You and Amy went above board. I mean, the third one now. It's just getting better and better.
Well, we hope it continues, but it's our love letter to the homesteading community because we love you guys. We want to promote this. We want to make the world a better place for not only our families, but, my kids, my grandkids, your kids, all of that. So we want them to know they have choices to make a better life.
Yep.
Amen.
I loved meeting you, Nanda.
I love meeting you too. Oh, you're probably going to see me sooner than later because you're close to home.
Yeah, she's not far.
Good.
That offer still stands.
I appreciate it. Y'all are sweet. Well, I just wanted to hop on real quick. I am still in Virginia. I'm about to head out tomorrow morning and head towards North Carolina and then go home. But I wanted to tell everybody we really, really, really appreciate you guys and your support and just keep lifting everybody up.
Well, Nanda,
Thanks, Nanda. It was great hearing from you.
Thank you for calling.
Careful.
Have a nice night.
Bye-bye.
Night.
You too, Nanda.
Bye.
Look at yourself to join the party.
Okay, caller with the last three digits, 477.
Hello, this is Terry from City Girl Country. How are you guys doing?
Terry, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay,
I hope everyone
somebody's
is
doing
awesome and had a great time at the HOA. Terry, how are you? I'm
Okay. You have sound going in the background that's coming through the phone, which we have to stop.
Is that better?
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
What'd you say again?
Oh, I said I hope you all had a great time at the HOA, but I do have a question for everyone. Knowing what you all do know now about having animals, what would be your favorite animal to have? I don't know if this question is asked yet or not. What would be, if you could have any animal all over again, what would be your favorite one to have?
Do you want to ask them individually in order?
Each one and however they want to do it.
Okay, well, let's just go around the clock, starting with Jason in the upper left.
Okay.
Which one do you want? And it better not be a bird.
I would say any bird, whether it's a turkey, a chicken, or quail. I would just birds.
I don't know.
I don't know though. A grass-fed steak's pretty darn good, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, that is good.
So.
Yeah, kind of hard. She was like, if you just had to pick,
Oh,
one,
we just had to pick one.
Yeah, what would be your favorite animal to have?
Yeah.
Who's going
Probably
next?
beef cows.
Yeah. Fair answer.
Oh, they still haven't answered? Oh, okay.
I know. There's like 9 of us on here, Big Man.
Come on, let's go. Nowhere to lose it.
I got mine.
Beef
I
cows.
know what mine
They look
is.
a lot like Jeremiah.
Turtles, because we're slow. Let's go.
I would have to see. We pretty much dabbled in all of them so far. I mean, we've had horses, we've had goats, we've had cows, we've had pigs.
So that would be beef
Come
cows.
on.
Got it. Done.
Cool, great. Thank you.
A beef
There's
cow.
Zach.
Okay, Jason.
Zach, your turn.
Our turn.
Zach is,
Jen's the animal
Yep.
lover. I'm more the gardener. But my choice was I love the guineas.
Ew. Really?
I do
Oh,
love the
I love
guineas.
guineas too. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Blake, it's up to you. Go ahead, Blake.
All the guests.
All right, who's next?
It's Blake's turn.
Oh, okay. So for me, I prefer more gardens and fewer animals, but so I'm going to think about it in a smaller homestead and something that is has a little more utility. So chickens and ducks, some small bird that can provide a service to cleaning up gardens and also add to the compost pile.
Morgan, your turn.
I'm going to surprise everybody and say geese.
No, not
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
You
geese.
have a few geese on your property, just a couple handfuls.
Well, yeah, we're back. We sent most of them off to the freezer, but right now we've got about 5 for the winter. But next year I'm gonna probably double and triple down on how many geese I raise, just because I think they're so good for the land. They're really cheaper to raise, relatively speaking, to other fowl, and yeah, I just like their personalities too.
Okay, Ben and Andrea.
They're different.
Definitely cows for me.
Definitely old spot pigs.
Pigs. See, I was,
And I can't believe Zach said guineas.
I love my guineas.
Guineas are awesome.
Is it even an animal?
Not our 5 guineas. Our guineas
Even though-
protect, they clean. They do everything. I'm kind of like Blake too. They're great.
How well do they taste?
I ain't ate them yet.
I think
But,
exactly.
Zach, I'm surprised you didn't say your car alarm was your favorite animal.
Right?
Okay, Jess and Miah.
It's gonna be goats for me. I'm a big fan of goats. I like their personalities, and I also really like having dairy. I think because I'm like Blake, like I'm really big on the garden, and adding dairy in just gives you a lot of versatility with being able to make cheese and use dairy in cooking as well as drinking. And so it's just like a good companion. If I was only gonna have one animal, that would be it.
Honestly, this is really against everything that I believe in, but if I had to speak honestly, my favorite animal is the horses. And they don't serve any purpose other than my enjoyment. So it's really complicated, but they do produce a lot of poop. But other than that, like I know I'm usually the efficiency one, but honestly, I love the horses more than anything else.
I think if I were
crazy
honest,
thing
I would say
is-
I love the horses more too, but I was thinking more utility.
If I was gonna go utility, chickens.
But the crazy thing is, I was sitting here thinking, when Jess was giving her answer, I'm sitting here thinking, of all the animals and all the videos I've seen Jeremiah talk about, he has a lot more passion for those horses. You can feel it. There's a lot more passion. It's something about the horses with him. It is. And
That was my dream for a really long time, was to have horses. And so, like, of all the animals on our farm, I pushed for all of them except for the horses. And that was me saying, no, we don't need horses for a long time. And he really wanted, and then I finally gave in. So, like, every single other animal was me pushing and him giving in, except the horses.
I had a family member ask me, because I told my husband that I've got chickens now, and they said, what are you going to do, get pigs or a cow? I said, no. I said, then my property isn't that big. If I could have a big enough property, 5 acres the most, I would have more animals. Yes, I would. And I will say thank you, Jess, for in one of your videos where you turn your chickens upside down.
Yeah.
That actually does really work, because I tried it, and it's so cool.
Yeah. It definitely does.
Okay, well, any other questions?
No.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for answering like you did.
Well,
Have a good night.
thank you for calling. You have a wonderful evening.
While we're in between callers, Ben needs to make a request. Big Bear, he needs to see Carol.
Okay, hold on.
Aww.
Yeah, they bonded a lot.
Who's that little blushing chick right there?
Emily's over here crying, Ben.
What?
I want since we have Ben on there and he's asking for Carol, the kids and doesn't matter from little tiny tykes like Ellen, Wild and Wonderful in West Virginia, her littlest one, she's a year, Ellie, up to Carol Ann's age and older and VW Family Farm, your kids. The kids were amazing. You didn't see one tablet or cell phone. You didn't see their faces stuck in a computer all weekend. And even the ones that were playing and running and rolling down the hills, it was It was fantastic. They were still behaved. You didn't hear parents screaming. Well, I did a few times when one wasn't at the campground to have bacon and eggs Saturday morning, but he was off playing with his friends. But it was awesome, and I wrote to Jess this afternoon. Her kids came over and they were with Carol and I forget the older kids that they were with.
We have sign language going on here.
And yeah, and there's Carol. And
DW Family Farms kids and Big Bear's kids kept our kids on Friday so we could meet with people, and they had a great time with them.
Did you see Carol there, Ben?
The morning we were getting ready to leave, Ben was like, Carol would try to scoot away just a little bit, and he'd get closer and like wrap his arm around her. She's like, he's not going to want to leave.
All right, I want to jump back to Jess and Miah here a little bit because they weren't here when we asked the question. What was your biggest takeaway from the conference?
Biggest takeaway from the conference.
Well, okay, to be entirely frank, we experienced very, very little of the actual conference itself. The only talk that I heard was the Q&A panel.
Because I was on it?
Because we were on it. And so the 200-year thing really stuck with me in a massive way. And it was just kind of a crazy thing because, like, we listened to a preacher that always talks about living with a 400-year plan and, like, living for legacy and all of that. And so it was just, like, really impactful to hear that language being repeated in this community when we hear it talked about in that other community. And it was like, wow, that really struck me. As far as like the rest of the conference, hold on 1 second.
Hey boys, go to your room and play.
Go play.
The 8 hours in the car is sufficient enough parenting time. Go to your room. Go to your room.
No.
It's room time. With the door shut.
Room time.
So we had family bonding time, but now it's not family bonding time. Yes, that actually happens in family bonding.
But overall, the thing that we took away, which literally outside of the Q&A, like listening to that, the only other thing that we did was talk to people the entire time. And the thing that we took away was just how sweet this community is and how invested in our journey so many people have been, and that it was just a very humbling experience.
Yeah, for me, I took a personal takeaway. Like I said, I didn't get to go learn anything because we didn't really move around a whole lot. I mean, I honestly barely even got to see vendors, which was fine. I'm not complaining in any way. It was awesome to get to just talk with everyone and then also hang out with our friends. But Bear, I know you need to stop looking for him. The personal takeaway that I had was that I have something valuable to contribute, if that makes sense. That might be a little vulnerable, but like I know that Jessica has a ton of information. Like she's essentially an encyclopedia when it comes to gardening. Oh my gosh, dog.
I miss me all the
Look at this dog. Oh, now I get that.
Bear.
But like, whenever Jessica's like, "Hey, we're on the Q&A," I found out like the morning of. I was like, "Why am I?" And it didn't make a lot of sense. Like, but then honestly, like, then I actually contributed to it, and it really just kind of reinforced to me that I actually have something to add to the community.
I love how Robert's joined.
Right, hey Robert.
And I'm learning how he's setting up his router. It's cool.
Kind of thankful he doesn't have his kilt on.
I know, right?
Yeah. Trying to let the kilt off today.
Poor Jen. She's dying.
Robert, I'm
Who's going to
hoping.
break it to him that he did all of that live?
I didn't know if I was going to have to switch to another screen or not here.
Okay.
Robert, can you hear us okay?
Come down.
Say hello.
I can hear you.
All right, good deal.
I can hear y'all. Hold on one sec.
Like to see, he does look very serious, doesn't he?
All right.
We've now entered the Nonagon.
Like to see, he does look very serious, doesn't he?
Okay, Robert, I think it's your mic is feeding back through here on your sound. I don't know if you're listening to the YouTube stream. If you are, that's what the problem is.
That's it. Got it.
Okay. So, Robert, share with us what your biggest takeaway from the conference was.
That's it. Got it.
Still on.
I think I got it working now. Oh man.
You got this.
My favorite thing of the conference, I guess, would be that all of us got together and just had a really good time. Meeting new people, and it was really good.
Okay, well, on the panel here, we have basically an attendee. We have a couple speakers. We have a couple larger channels, and I'm curious here, Blake. Do you have any desire to speak at an event like that?
I feel kind of like Miah in a way. I don't really feel like I have a whole lot to offer, but I don't know, maybe someday.
I think you're being way too modest, sir. I think you have a lot to offer. That's just my opinion. Morgan,
thank you.
Would you like to be a speaker at one of these conferences?
Sure. Are you all asking? Yeah, no, I think it'd be fun. I'd love to talk about.
Morgan,
we're having one in June.
Ducks.
Just saying, we're having one June 6th.
In Ohio.
In Ohio, okay.
Yeah, we're just sort of kind of like helping a little bit, I guess. Ben and Andrea.
Not in Ohio?
No.
Ben and Andrea. You guys had the opportunity to be speakers out at the Baker Creek meetup. Did you?
We're having a little bit of network connection issues. If you was asking us a question, repeat it.
Okay. You had the opportunity to be a speaker at Baker Creek. Would you like to continue that type of thing into other conferences and so forth, or was that enough for you?
I'm not good at public speaking. She's a lot better at it than I am, but
well,
it was fun.
She's a lot better looking than you are, but.
Well, it depends who you ask. I mean, there was somebody on here a while ago saying, "Hey, Ben, you're a cutie." I didn't know if they was talking to me or little Ben. But...
that was a troll.
No, it was for the really cute one.
Ouch.
Yes.
Don't worry about my feelings, Robin.
We're family. You can take it.
Oh.
I will say we spoke in May at the Spring Planning Festival totally by ourselves, and that was pretty nerve-wracking and could have caused a divorce trying to get that speech ready, but we made it through.
It was all good.
It was all good. Wow. And then we almost pulled over on the way to that conference trying to practice our speech, and our kids in the back seat are going, "Y'all are so ridiculous." And so, but we made it through that, and then we spoke in California, but we were with Jess and Jeremiah, so I feel like, I mean, I wasn't even nervous because I knew she had it, and it doesn't matter what she could say. I hate yellow squash, and they're gonna clap. I mean, they're gonna applaud. I mean, that was easy.
That would actually be a fun activity.
Just to see.
Just so, like, we could write down different phrases for Jess to throw out there and see if she can get applause.
It kind of want to bust Andrea out
they
of
would be
here.
killing their yellow squash the next day. So I guess our answer is we would do it. It's gotten better and less stressful, but I'm not sure that we're qualified to do it.
The one in California, I don't know if it was their room or no, it was actually the size of the amount of people that was in that room. That got me flustered. There was a bunch of people in there. I can't even imagine being at the HOA.
I got a little flustered during the Q&A, and then after the Q&A,
Yeah, the
because
Q&A was freaking packed.
like half the people were gone for us talking, and so it was like, oh, this is easy now. But like that massive room was full during the Q&A, and I haven't been in front of a crowd like that since before. Like when I used to preach, I would preach to crowds that big, but like I don't know. That was always like, okay, God
Blake,
got me
Blake
on
has
that.
a fuzzy thing in his arms.
Like, okay, yeah, I've got something good to say. That was pretty nerve-wracking.
That was nerve-wracking. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're like getting ready to sit down. I'm like,
I was like, please let me throw up in front of all these people.
But when you spoke to the single mom during the Q&A, you almost started preaching, and I wanted to like say amen and that's my friend, but Joel Salatin looked at who was beside him when you were done and said wow, and I was like, I know her. But I was super proud of you.
Blake, I see you brought a new guest online here.
Yeah, it's Mr. Breezy.
Well, the rabbit
So,
out of his hat.
Mr. Breezy sometimes runs around the house, but Mama Kurz was chasing him because he was chewing on the trim work, so I had to pick him up.
He's so cute.
Okay, Robert, your comments from the conference.
My comments from the well, I really enjoyed everything. I didn't get to much speakers. Really wanted to, but I had too much fun interacting with all the individuals. It was really difficult to set that aside from going to see people speak. Just wonderful time. Amy put a really good show together, as she did last year, and I'm looking forward to going back next year again. I think I'll be going camping this year, so that it'll be a little bit more fun to socialize afterwards, I think, and maybe get to see some speakers next year.
Okay, so your biggest thing was you really didn't find the time to see as much as you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yep.
But still, I don't know that they could do more than 2 days. I like the format.
Yeah, I think the format was well done. I know a couple of us had thrown around just having a get together the day after. Whoever wanted to stay could stay, and whoever didn't, but not for the actual Homesteaders of America conference, just as a like after party.
Well, I think a lot of us were pretty worn out.
I was definitely wore out, that's for sure.
So.
Yeah, I think we had after parties after the HOA 2 nights.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. I know. Well, Mike Pratt said it the best. We never saw them. We knew they were there. Mike and Jenny Pratt. We knew they were there. We knew they were a speaker there. We never laid eyes on them at all the whole weekend.
Yeah, well, I didn't see Patty, but I saw Tommy in passing.
Yeah, it was
it was, it was crazy.
So,
but the last 2 years we volunteered, so we were a little bit of everywhere. This year we didn't do that. You had the live stream going for 2 days, so.
Which locked us into an area, which is fine. That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We wanted to share with people. So, I guess I don't even know where to go with this. I certainly appreciate.
I got a funny story for you, Daryl.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey guys, hey, 1 second. Me and Jess, we just got back like, I don't know, an hour ago, so we're about to check out.
Yeah, you just looks like she's gonna that hand is gonna go slide down her cheek and she's gonna end on the table.
Yeah, I'm pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
So,
I'll
bye,
see you
guys. Love you
later.
guys.
Take care.
Good night.
Night.
Hey, thanks for saying hi.
Bye.
Take care.
I don't know how to close this thing, but
Something new. You're here. All right, there we go. Go ahead, Morgan.
Okay, so our housing accommodations for the weekend. Let's see. So Blake, Jen, and Chris from the Sunshine Farm, and Bo and Kelly from Better Together Life. We all got an Airbnb together, and so it was this like interesting little weird cabin, right? But it was a fun situation because number one, we found out at the last minute that even though it was like a 3-bedroom house with like a day bed tucked off and like a little side room as well, they had a limit of like only 4 people and only 2 cars. So we were constantly having to sneak people in and out of the Airbnb. So,
Lost your mind.
yeah, it was pretty comical. But then the other thing that happened was, so there were some weird dolls and puppets all around the house. Like, and one of them was
this is a PG live stream. You know that, Morgan?
It's PG. This
Okay.
will stay PG. I'll give you the PG version.
Oh, the PG version. We need to talk afterwards then.
There's this like one like doll that like was like one of those mannequin dummies, like a Howdy Doody style that we found in a room. And the first night there, Bo and Kelly weren't getting there till very late, and so we opted to play a prank where we took the Howdy Doody doll and suspended him from the fan in their bedroom. And, the lights were off and closed the door. But when they showed up at about 2:30, they opened the door.
Lord.
And I guess it was just like right there. And they were a little concerned.
No,
And so
Wondered what they got into.
It was fun.
First.
But then the thing that happened actually the next morning was, and I'd never met Bo or Kelly before. I see Bo in the morning. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? And he's like, oh, man, it was really bad getting in here. Kelly was so upset. She saw the doll hanging there, and she was so unhappy, and she was crying. And I just felt so horrible because I never met these people, and I thought this was like totally an okay thing. But then what happened is it turns out they were just trying to prank me back. The prank war with the mannequin just went throughout the whole rest of the trip. It was a lot of fun.
And I told Morgan when he was doing it, I said, be prepared. See, I've met Bo and Kelly. I said, be prepared for something to come back. And sure enough, right off the bat,
They got me right away because I was feeling so bad. I was like, stupid. Why did you do that? You don't even know these people. And yeah, no, it worked out.
Karma.
You're just a prankster.
Early Halloween gag.
Okay, well, listen, I certainly
Morgan.
appreciate all of you folks jumping on here this evening. A little bit new format for us. We wanted to try it out, and our scheduled guest could not make it tonight of all nights. So we thought, let's try this recap. And you were also gracious to say, yeah, let's do it and jump on. And
It was awesome.
This
We had a
was
blast.
good.
I think
Yeah,
it's been
good times.
a success.
Good.
Yeah, I count as it says.
so, Jerry, you got anything else?
Do I? No. I thought it was. This turned out great.
Who's supposed to be here next week?
Loma Acres. In fact, he just left just a little bit ago because they
Little
have
Sprout.
to. Yep. Little Sprout. Little Sprout's
Hey,
daddy.
guess what?
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 I got cheesecake the other day.
Shut your
We
face.
saw your picture.
This is what I got to say about that, man.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I got to say about a cheesecake.
Where's the Pinocchio?
Oh my goodness.
What's the saying? Got to catch 'em all?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, wanted to thank you all for being here. Folks at home, have a wonderful week. And
In 3 weeks, November 2nd, is the Harvest Festival in Kentucky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Zach.
Yes.
Zach, go ahead. Tell them
Yep,
the lowdown on that since you're sold out.
Floor is all yours.
So yeah, in 3 weeks, November 2nd, we're hosting our harvest celebration here. It's technically in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. It's a completely free event. We have maxed out tickets, which is mind blowing. However, if you don't have one and you want to come, just message us. You can still come.
Bring hot dog buns.
Yeah. We heard a rumor that to get in, they had to bring a package of hot dog buns.
Exactly, either that or a case of water.
So when you go home with 100 packages of hot dog buns, I'm just gonna sit back and smile.
Hey, we'll just stick them in the deep freeze, preserve them, right?
There you go.
No, but yeah, so November 2nd, that's literally 3 weekends from now. We're going to have a bunch of people here. Like I said, over 500 tickets are sold and more people coming on top of that.
Lots of speakers, all kinds of people, local people that are going to talk about bees and gardening, vegetable gardening, container gardening,
hand hewing, log cabins,
all kinds of stuff.
We got a wood miser coming, and it's actually the agricultural college, so they're going to be probably doing their sorghum demonstrations that they have and a lot of stuff that they got going on. So it's going to be really cool. If you can make it, come on out.
Okay, and tell them again where it is.
Then Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, November 2nd. If you follow our Facebook page.
Grammy Karen, link it.
Yeah, if Grammy Karen's on here, link that bad boy. Just follow us on Facebook.
Work.
Get the work, woman. Follow us on Facebook. All that info's on there. There's also an Eventbrite. Just search Harvest Celebration with Stivers Homestead. You will not be able to get a ticket, but you can check it there.
All right. Thanks so much. Everybody have a wonderful week. And don't forget, you cannot hum when you hold your nose.
I knew that was
Good night, folks.
Bye.
Bye.